So winter is coming, and that means crunch time on the homestead. There's a lot of projects that we've had that we've wanted to do this year that it was just too hot in the summer. There's like no point in sweating. Anybody know what this thing is? It's a big cast iron. It's got a square shaft that goes through it. It was left here on the homestead, and I don't know what it's for. As I was saying, projects that we didn't want to do during the summer because it was too hot. Now that it's fall, winter's coming, it's time to get those things cranked out and done. One of them is to remodel our winter chicken coop. And right now is the perfect time to do that because the chickens are still in their summer coop and their mobile chicken tractor that we built earlier this year. And before we do too much else, this door needs to be replaced. It's basically all rotten. It looks cool, but when I take the door out to replace it, let me show you. A lot of these bricks up here, the mortar is missing from them, and you can see a lot of it started to fall. There's a piece of concrete or mortar or something behind here, but it's basically all sitting on this header for this door. That's not really a door. It doesn't really even work. It's kind of been screwed shut since we moved in. So I want to rip out this old door in the frame, but I want to seal all this stuff up. So I bought some of that mortar, like in a caulk tube. And what I'm hoping we can do is squirt that mortar in here and all in these cracks. And then maybe use my floor jack from the garage and jack this up to push this kind of all back into place, and then we'll let it dry for a few days. Hopefully by then we can come back and we can pull all this out. Everything will stay, and then we can work on building the new frame for the door and a new door. And then get started on the rest of the project. Rachel will probably be out in a little while. Just finishing up work for the day. I think the next step is see if I can get these screws out that's holding the door in place. The bottom ones are already gone. I don't know if these bad boys are going to come out or not.
Yeah, they're pretty well rusted in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is the top of that arch that I was telling you guys about. Mm-hmm. You can see some of the cracks all the way up in there. It doesn't appear that the side pieces are actually holding anything. This top piece right here actually fits and is kind of resting on some bricks. So if I'm careful, I can probably remove these two side pieces.
You want me to watch from the back and see what it's doing?
Yeah, just tell me if you see anything moving at all.
You're on the side. No, like.
There's one way back in there. Well, things aren't going well. I don't think anything about how the process is going is how I pictured it to go in my head. Then the entire thing might end up being a total failure. We spent probably the last 30 minutes or so going over plans, going over ideas. I started to remove some of these side pieces, these vertical, because they serve no purpose. But the act of trying to remove them really shifts all this a lot, and I don't want to do that. Some of the other things that I have that are challenging to me is my jack, my floor jack that I use to jack all this up. And I can jack it up pretty good, and it shifts up and it tightens up a little bit. But the seals in it are bad. So once you jack something up, after about 3 hours, it lowers back down. So I'm tempted to put the mortar in here and jack it up before I mess with any of these side pieces. Try to get all of this as secure as I can beforehand. But with my jack lowering itself, that's really not much of an option. I do have these big old pipe clamps, and I had thought that once I get it jacked up, I got a few of these I can put these in here to try to hold it in position, so if the jack does lower itself down, that these pipe clamps will at least hold it in place until the mortar sets. And even when the mortar sets, I don't know if it's going to hold. So this video might end up being a total failure, catastrophe, disaster, whatever you want to call it. But I guess that's part of real life, right? Some good news though is I do have dinner cooking for probably the last 2.5 hours. We have Rachel found a really nice big old sirloin steak from our grass-fed cow that we bought a couple years ago, still in the freezer. I seasoned it with Montreal steak seasoning, garlic, and some Dale seasoning. Put it in a Ziploc bag, and it's been in my sous-vide for the last 2.5 hours. So about 30 minutes from now, that'll be done. We'll pull that out of the sous vide. We'll bring it out here. We'll put it on the grill and we'll sear it, and then we'll have some dinner. And I think I'll feel a lot better after that. Not necessarily about the project, but my physical well-being. So I cleaned out a lot of the loose mortar and debris that was in between here that would prevent it from, trying to jack up and put things back in position. I got a lot of that removed. I want to try to get the dust out of there too. So what I might do next, I think, is get the, this probably sounds kind of silly, but get my leaf blower out here and come and blow in all these cracks just to try to get every bit of dust and debris out of there. Yeah, I wish I could live in real time ask you guys for help, because I'm sure once this video is posted, somebody's going to say, oh, hey, I'm a bricklayer. You should have done this. Well, our project outdoors is on hold for right now because dinner's ready. Rachel is making potatoes.
Yeah, I got sauteed some green peppers and onions, and now I just opened up a jar of potatoes and dumped them in salt, garlic powder. Yummy.
Cool. I'm hungry, and when I'm hungry I get crabby, so outside projects on hold. The steak that's been cooking in here for about 3 hours is ready. So if you have never done sous vide cooking before, I don't want to go into explain the whole process here, because that could easily be its own whole video. But basically the process is you put meat in a bag, an airtight bag with no air in it, put it in water, and then this device here heats up that water to whatever temperature you want for however long you want. And that cooks your meat to that specific temperature and not any more.
And the neat thing about it is it cooks it perfectly that temperature all the way through the meat. Like, you're not going to get more well done on the outside, less well done on the inside. It's all the same. Right,
right. So if you like want a steak that's medium, and normally when you cook it on the grill, like the outside is well done and the middle is rare and everything else is medium. With this, I cooked this steak at 129 degrees for 3 hours, which is basically rare. And it's gonna look gross when I take it out of the bag. I'll show you. Let's move things around so I can show you. So that's how things turned out. You end up with this gray looking nasty piece of meat. But what you need to do next is to sear the outside to give you that nice chard on the outside. And then when you bite into it and eat it, it's going to taste just like a normal steak, but better. All right, for the searing process. Prior to searing, you need to make sure you dry off your meat, whether it's lamb, beef, chicken, whatever it is. Get it as dry as you can with paper towels because it'll really impact the searing process if there's moisture in there. I've done searing a couple of different ways now. I've tried indoors on cast iron, very smoky. I've used our Camp Chef outdoor cook stove with cast iron. Works okay. It almost gets, I don't know, I just don't really enjoy it. I've also cranked up my grill on like full high, let it get up to like 600-700 degrees. Throw it on here on the grate and get some nice grill marks on it, flip it a couple times. But my new favorite way is to use a torch. So my grill's cold, it's not turned on. And we're just gonna lay our meat on here. So my new favorite way for searing my meat is to use a flame weeder. Propane torch, basically. We use it to burn weeds and stuff in the driveway and around fences. It's quite hot. This doesn't take long. And remember, your meat's basically already cooked at this point to the doneness you want. This is just to char it.
Looks good, baby.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Pretty pink. Your potatoes look good.
Mm-hmm. Smell yummy. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's only focusing on your face.
Oh.
So you end up with, if you want medium rare, medium, whatever you want, it will cook to that temperature and that temperature only. It won't overcook it. We've done a chuck roast, like, you know, a big pot roast. Cooked it for 36 hours. And it was so tender, it just fell right apart.
And we just did ribs at the cabin recently, and they were like perfect.
Oh yeah.
We've done lamb. It's a really fun way to cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
So you guys, I told you that I'm sitting here wiping the sour cream off my chin. I told you that this was my first year canning potatoes. And this is my second time using my canned potatoes. And I pan fry them each time. And it is amazing having those. I can't believe I went this long without canned potatoes on my shelf. So good. And so quick and simple to make something so luxurious. Oh, and I want to say, I thought it was odd, but I thought maybe they came from a good place in their heart. We got a comment one time. I was talking about eating something from... It's a beautiful day outside. Motorcycles are out. Eating something from our pantry from this year, and somebody commented, "Why are you already getting into your food stores? You shouldn't be doing that till like 3 to 6 months from now."
Right.
And I was like, "Huh, I never even considered that." I'm like, as soon as I can something, I can't wait to use it. Like, I don't think about it that way. Do you guys? Do you think about like the food that you put up and you can, like, don't touch it until, I don't know. Like, I'm eating my pickled beets from this year. I'm eating my potatoes from this year. And that's like how we do it. I don't know. It just never dawned on me that that wasn't right or you're not supposed to.
I don't know. Maybe there's this rule we don't know about.
Yeah.
But our project outdoors, I'm officially putting it on hold for this video. So this is going to end up being a shorter video, but
We don't know enough?
I don't know enough, and I think I bought the wrong mortar. It's not really mortar. It's some kind of acrylic, so it's not used for structural stuff. But I'm going to ask you guys for some help. What should I use? What should I do? Should I undo, try to put everything back the way it was and just leave it? Should I buy some mortar? Hey, come on. Buy proper mortar and put it in Ziploc bags and try to squirt it in there? Or give me some advice, guys. I guess that's what I'm asking is...
I threw something really outrageous to him. I'm like, so just to put all options on the table, what if we tore the whole header sidewalls down, and whatever bricks fall, they fall, and we fix it from there, however we feel fit? He was like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So that's probably not something that we want to do.
So leave me some advice, some comments, suggestions down in the comments, and we'll pick this back up. I guess it can't really be tomorrow because this video will be published tomorrow. So Saturday. We'll get back after it. We're going to go enjoy our meal.
Oh my gosh, guys, these potatoes are amazing.
Will you try your steak?
Yeah, I love it all.
You do?
So good.
Okay. See you guys later.